Good morning and God bless you. Welcome to our second day of our journey on our 21-day conversation about vision. Today we're going to be talking from Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm excited about it. We just got out of our 5 a.m. prayer, and I just want to bring you just some insight to how we ought to go about receiving vision from the Lord. Now, let's look at Habakkuk chapter 2. If not, I'll put it on the screen for you. But it reads, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I'm reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that read it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Now, this is a powerful message because the context of Habakkuk is you can actually go back to chapter 1 and see how Habakkuk is crying out to the Lord. He's saying, Lord, how long shall I cry? How long shall we go through this evil? How long shall we see evil pervading the streets? How long, God, shall you not judge? How long shall you allow the wicked to get away with the things that are ungodly? How long, God? How long shall you see this violence and not respond? Habakkuk, the prophet, is in a very frustrating place because he feels like, God, I'm crying out to you, but you don't hear me. You haven't responded yet. I'm seeing evil on this. It seems like the evil are getting over. The people that are not doing right, and even though I'm doing right, I don't see them being judged for their wrong. And so all of us have been at that place at some point in time where you feel like, Lord, how come it seems like they're always going into a good season, and it seems like I'm always in a bad season. And sometimes that frustration can get to us in our mind. But Habakkuk does something that all of us should do, and you'll see that in chapter 2. After he cries out in chapter 1, in chapter 2, he says, I'm going to stand upon my watch. He says, I'm going to set upon the tower, and God, I'm going to wait and I'm going to watch to see what you have to say to me. I'm not going to keep crying out. God, I'm just going to get quiet now, and I'm going to watch and I'm going to wait. Because the first thing that we have to do in order to receive vision from the Lord is that we need to watch and we need to wait. We need to watch and we need to wait. Number 2, it says, and the Lord answered, because he watched and he waited. The Lord answered me and said, write the vision. That's number 2. He wrote the vision down, right? So he says, the Lord answered, said, write the vision. What you have to do is write the vision. And then he says, make it plain. Write it, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that read it, right? So understanding that the vision that God gives you is not going to be just for you, but how you can be a blessing to others. Everything in the kingdom is always about gaining more to the kingdom. And so when God gives you something, it's oftentimes for you to minister to somebody else. So he says, I'm about to give you some revelation, but this revelation is not going to be just for you. It's not going to be just isolated to your own desires. This revelation is going to be for others. Now, let's look at this too. Verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, is what the writer says. He says, so the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, not lie, though it tarry, wait for. He says, so now watch this. You got to wait for it. He says, because even though it seems like it's slow to come, what I'm telling you, it will come, but you just got to have enough faith in the fact that what I gave you shall come to pass. What often frustrates us is that the thing that we've asked God for, it seems slow to come. And you're saying, Lord, why do I have to deal with this season of loneliness? Why do I have to deal with this season of isolation? Lord, why do I have to deal with this season where it feels like I never have any money? Why do I have to deal with this season where I'm going through in my marriage? He says here in Habakkuk, he says, now what you got to do is there is an appointed time. There is a future time. The appointed time is a future time, and the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it's slow, it's coming. And that's what I want to tell you today. Though it may be slow, it will come. But number one, you got to wait. Number two, you got to write. And then, and I missed this point, but I'm going to add this in here. He says, run. He says that they may run that read it. So you also need to once you write it, read it over and over again. And what you read, it's going to be for future generations. I've written some books, and I know it's not just for me, but it's for future generations. So read it. In other words, God says that you may have your personal navigation system. This vision that I've given you is going to be a map to the end of the year. You'll start out with it, but it's going to be a map to how you get to the end of the year. And then once you get there, you pass this map on, because so that others may read it and that they may run. What we want to do oftentimes is we want to run before we read it. No, we got to read this thing. We got to because what reading it does, it keeps you focused on the end goal. Because though it tarry, he said, it shall come to pass. I'm not going to prolong the time. I'm not going to keep you today, but I want to tell you, do those things, those principles that I gave out to you. Wait for God, receive that revelation, then write it down. And then you got to continually to read it. And then be patient, knowing that even though it's slow to come, it will come. God bless you. Can't wait to talk to you again tomorrow as we go through this 21-day journey. It's always about the purpose and the will of God. And remember, write that vision and watch God bring it to pass. God bless you.